again, and welcome back to another craft kit tutorial. My name is Colleen Hatch, and I'm the Assistant Teen Services Librarian here at the Windermere Library. This month we are doing a paper hyacinth, is I think how you pronounce it, bouquet, so a little flower bouquet. In your kit, you will get 6 strips of random colored paper, 6 strips of green paper, a glue, a piece of ribbon, and then it has a little rubber band around it, which we will also use. So let me bring you down and show you how to do this project. Alright, here we go. So we're going to start by making the stem for our flowers. So we're going to start with a piece of green paper. And what we want to do is we want to roll this into our stem shape. So you start at one corner here, and we want to roll it as tightly as we can. There's a lot of rolling in this project, and it does take a little bit of practice, so don't be discouraged if you don't get it the first time. I am not the best at paper crafts, so I definitely went through a little rolling and unrolling until I got it the way I wanted it, so don't get too stressed about it if you got to do it again. So what we're trying to do is make this as tight as we can, but also as long as we can, because this is supposed to be our flower stems, so we want them to be plenty long. So you can kind of see, I'm going to actually unroll it a little bit and do it again. There we go. That we're kind of getting that going. And you want to go on a diagonal so that it is getting longer. Once you get a little bit of length, you can kind of hold the end and use that to guide up. Now what I do, because I find it kind of difficult to keep it really tight, is about halfway, so we'll call it about there. I take a little bit of glue and I glue it just a little bit, just to keep it from unraveling anymore. So this gives me a little bit of extra support there. Now some of your flowers will have longer stems than others. It's totally okay. This is going to be a little bit shorter of a stem, but my next one I'll try to make it a little longer. No biggie there. Alright, and then when you get to the end, you want to put a little more glue just to make sure you're really sticking. And glue that end down. So we have a stem, like so. So you can set that aside and let that dry. I did not mention, but from home you do need just a pair of scissors. So there is our pair of scissors. And then for the flower part, what you do is take your strip and along the long edge, fold up a little lip about a quarter of an inch or so. Just all the way across like that. Get a nice good fold. And then this way, you're wanting to cut slits about a quarter an inch apart all the way to this fold, but not past it. So we just want to do small slits like so, and do those all the way across. Try to be as careful as you can not to cut past that slit because it makes it much harder to glue. And they don't have to be absolutely perfect, but keep them as even and as straight as you can because it just makes it easier to do. And we cut all the way across. Yeah, like that one was a little thinner than my other ones, but that's okay, just as long as they're not really thin or really thick. And this is what's forming the flower structure. So alright, so we get the idea. I will finish cutting this all the way across because it is kind of time consuming. And then we will come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, I'm here. I'm back. I have cut all of my little little fringe here. And sorry, there's a sign outside. All right, and now what we need to do is we need to roll these to make like the flower. I guess they're just like individual flowers if you know this kind of flower. So what you're doing is you're just rolling these from the bottom to that fold as tight as you can get. Again, it takes a little trial and error till you kind of get the flow of it. And it gets easier as you get more in there too. You kind of get the idea and it gets some of the extra paper out of the way. But I'll do a few here to show you before I cut and do it off camera because it's not the most exciting task. So yeah, I'm just taking it and kind of getting it started, and I'm just rolling it between my thumb and middle finger. That's what I found works best for me. The biggest thing is to make sure you get it rolled all the way to the end. If you don't, it tends to kind of unravel weirdly. So that would be my number one thing, is to make sure that they are all the way up against that strip of paper that we didn't cut into. So get it started here, which is the hardest part, honestly. And then we roll it all the way to the fold like so. You can kind of see there. So you want to do that all the way across for all your fringes and get those all rolled up, and then we will put the two pieces together to form your flower. So I will do that and get that going for us, and then I will come back with the finished rolled piece and we'll put those two together. So I'll be back. Okay, we're back. Here is my little string of all my little rolled fringes there and our stem. So what I usually do is I start with the thinner end, because typically your bottom is going to be a little bit thicker than your top. And I like to just kind of square it off just to make it a little easier to roll on. So I just cut the little tip off there. And then, sorry, I sighed because this is a little difficult to get started, but we're going to get it. We need to wrap this around our stem to make the flower. So I'm going to take our glue. I do just a little bit at a time because I usually have to work with it a little bit to get it started. So put a little bit of glue there. Make sure I get some at the top. There we go. And then we're going to wrap it around at a slight diagonal, but you want to get them as close to each other as you can so that it's really making that flower shape. So we want to wrap it around, and we're gluing on that folded edge there that we made. And we want to get them as close together as possible. So you can see that I've started to do it there, and I'm kind of out of glue already. So I'm going to add some more. Now this is why it's important to not cut past your fold, because then it makes this very, very difficult to do. So I had a couple where I went a little too far. Luckily they're not too bad. Yeah, see, these aren't a little tighter than that. All right. Now if you are more, some people are just more prepped to do paper crafts than me, so don't take me struggling as the norm. I'm just not very good with paper for some reason. All right, so we're gonna keep gluing all the way around. I do just a little at a time, so I'm not sticking my fingers in glue nonstop. If you need to roll some back up to keep them out of the way, you can do that. Just want to make sure you don't roll over. You're already done little flowers here. I'm going to try to slide them up just a little bit, and you can do that, which is kind of cool. Just kind of push them up and get them a little higher and out of the way. I found that the more of these you do, because I have enough to do 6, the better you typically get. I haven't done this in a while, and my first couple were kind of rough, and then I got better as I went. So a little bit of a skill based too. So roll that back up a little bit. There we go. And a little bit more. I try to keep it about halfway or so, a little past halfway down your stem is kind of my goal of where to put it. You don't need a very intense angle on this rolling. It's just a very slight diagonal, but nothing too crazy because you want to make sure. I'm getting a little low here again. So you can slide that up a little bit more. There we go. Slide it back up, roll these back up. We're getting it. Yeah. All right. Get more glue. Like I said, I kind of like the technique of you kind of stick it, and then if you want to push up a little bit there without ruining it, hopefully. Yeah. All right. We're good. We're good. All right. And then at the very end here, I go a little more flat than diagonal just to get it stuck. You'll need a little extra glue right at the end to get that on there. And push up a little bit more if I want. Yeah, I like it. Okay. I have a little bit of trouble getting that end to stick sometimes, so just make sure you're putting plenty of glue on that. But there you go. So that is a finished flower. And then what we were going to do is you make 6 of these, and then we put them together in a bouquet. So I think I'll make one more off camera just to kind of give you the idea of how to tie them together at the end. And then we'll kind of show you the technique of wrapping them with the ribbon. So let me go make 1 or 2 more. And all right, so I made 3 for the sake of time. We have enough in there for you to make 6, but I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. So I just made 3, and they got a little progressively better as I went. This was my second try, and then this was my third try, which I think is the best one. So, you know, you get the hang of it as you go, and they're not all perfect, but neither are flowers, so it's okay. So now what we're going to do is put them in the bouquet kind of shape. So take your ribbon, and this rubber band is actually going to be used, which we like to use everything, right? So what I'm doing for this is I'm just using this to kind of secure them a little bit while we wrap the ribbon, because it just makes it easier. When you have all 6, you probably won't have to double this, but because I only have 3, I'm going to double this up just to kind of hold it in place. You can kind of adjust and make them look the way you want, of course. So I'm going to do like, there we go. So you got your little bouquet. And then you'll take your ribbon and just wrap it around. Like I said, with 6, it'll be a little less, or not as much extra ribbon as you have with the 3. But what I did last time is I wrapped it twice. I kind of put it in the center here, and then I wrapped it once, and then I wrapped it again, just to kind of really get it on there. But again, it's not like it's an exact science, and mine are not even. Let's try that again. This is also why it's important to try to only get your flower petals about halfway down, so you have plenty of room to wrap at the bottom. And keep in mind, this will be easier with more flowers than with just the 3. I'm just trying to show you the concept. So, all right, we've got it there. We're gonna tie it in a knot and then just tie it in a little bow, just to make it a nice little pretty design. And then if you want, you could always trim up your ends and make those even. I'm not really gonna worry about that, but, and then yeah, you have a cute little bouquet. So I'm gonna grab the one where I did all 6 just to show you, and yeah, then we'll come back up and see what a finished bouquet with all 6 looks like. Alright, so this is my one where I did with all 6 here. So you can kind of see a little more full of a bouquet than our little 3 guy. So yeah, I just tied the ribbon around, gave it a cute little bow. This would be adorable for Mother's Day, perhaps. I'm sure that it'd be a cute little gift, or just to put in your room and display, or whatever, a little spring cheer for your decor. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. You can come pick this up at the local Woodmere branch. We have them right in Teen Services, and we will see you for another one. Have a great day.